guys, this is Morgan Stradling with the Rotoscopers YouTube, and I have some big news for Pixar's The Good Dinosaur. Unfortunately, it may not be the news you were wanting. So yesterday we got some big news about Pixar's movie, The Good Dinosaur. This is their next upcoming movie. Everyone's super pumped for it, and it was supposed to be released May 30th, 2014, the very beginning of next summer. Well, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. The movie has now been pushed nearly a year and a half into the future, and it's now going to be released November 25th, 2015. Now, let's be honest, this news really isn't that surprising, especially with the, production history that we've heard in the past month. So people began to suspect that something was up at the D23 Expo when the film's director, or former director, Bob Peterson, was suspiciously and notably absent from the Good Dinosaur panel. Instead, John Lasseter and co-director Peter Sohn were there, and they really didn't have that much to show about the film. And a few weeks later that we found out that Bob Peterson indeed had been removed from the project, but don't worry, he's still working on some mysterious new feature for Pixar, so he hasn't been kicked out of the studio, Brenda Chapman style. And at that time we found out that in the meantime, while they were looking for a new director, the Pixar brain trust of awesome directors was going to take over this film, namely John Lasseter, Lee Unkrich, Andrew Stanton, and the current co-director, Peter Sohn. So regarding this, Pixar did give us official word. Ed Catmull said, "Nobody remembers that you slipped a film, but they will remember a bad film." Our conclusion was that we were going to give the dinosaur film some more time. And you know what? I agree with him. I don't know why this movie got pushed. Maybe it's production issues, maybe the story really wasn't working out and so they need a lot more time. But let's be honest, a good Pixar film is better than a bad Pixar film, so I'm willing to wait an extra year and a half. Unfortunately, this leaves 2014 completely void of Pixar films. We don't get a Pixar film in 2014. Now, it's actually been around 10 years since we had a 2-year gap between Pixar films. The last gap was actually between The Incredibles and Cars. The Incredibles came out in 2004 and Cars came out in 2006. Now, at this point, it was pretty common to have Pixar films released every 2 years. The only exception was between Finding Nemo and The Incredibles. There was about a 1-year difference. But really, from that time before, it was 2 years was the norm. Only after Cars came out in 2006 did we establish the standard of one Pixar movie every single year. And we loved it. So actually, this caused a little bit of chaos because a huge domino effect occurred with all these shifting and moving of release dates. Namely, November 25th, 2015, wasn't that supposed to be the release date of Finding Dory? Yes, unfortunately, Finding Dory has now been pushed to the next summer, which is summer 2016. It will now be released June 17th, 2016. And one last bit of news, well, now that this very lucrative May 30th, 2014 spot is open, Disney said, hey, let's take it. So Maleficent, which is their live-action film about the villainous Maleficent, has now moved up from July 2nd, 2014 to May 30th, 2014. Honestly, I'm excited that something is filling this gap. I know May is a really, really big time for movies. It's kind of the beginning of the summer. And I think that film is obviously doing very well with production and schedule-wise, so why not? I'm excited to see Maleficent a bit earlier. Little disappointed, very disappointed to see The Good Dinosaur a year and a half later. But what's best is best. Hopefully The Good Dinosaur will turn itself around and will make this triumphant recovery and it will be the best Pixar film of all time. So let us know in the comments below what you guys think about this crazy changing of all these movie dates, specifically The Good Dinosaur. And be sure to check out the rotoscopers.com for all the latest news, reviews, and interviews in the animation world. That's where you can stay up to date on everything and definitely be filled in on what happens next to The Good Dinosaur. Adios!